Hello student, in this video I am going to tell you about the structure of heart. So this topic comes under transportation, and in last video I have discussed transportation in plants, and today I am going to discuss transportation in animals. So for this today we will see the structure of heart. So you can see here, this is a structure of heart. Heart, it is uh, first thing you should know something about heart, then I will tell you in detail. What is the first thing? That heart is mesodermal in origin. Mesodermal means there are three germs there: ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So from mesoderm heart is originated. Then it is situated in thoracic cavity and in between two lungs. Thoracic cavity, and it is slightly tilted towards the left side, and that's why people used to say that uh, heart occur at left side, but it's not exactly. It is only slightly tilted towards the left side, and it has the size of clenched fist. Clenched fist means band muthi. So next thing, it is protected by the double walled membranous bag, which is called as pericardium. And human heart is four chambered, that is, it has two small upper chambers called as atria, and two larger chambers called as ventricles. This atria also has thin membrane than the ventricle. So you can see the structure here. This is the structure of heart. You can say this is right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and left ventricle. And this four chambered are separated into right and left, and the thin muscular wall interatrial septum separates the left and right left left and right atria. What is the name of this membrane? Left and right atria is separated by left and right atria is separated by interatrial septum. Then this left ventricle and right ventricle separated by the interventricular LV and L. Left ventricle and right ventricle is separated by interventricular septum. So point to be remembered, that is RA and LA, or LA and RA is separated by interatrial septum, and LV and RV, or RV and LV is separated by interventricular septum. And the atria and the ventricle of the same side are also separated by a thick fibrous tissue called atrioventricular septum. So what is this? That atria and ventricle, atria and ventricle of the same side is separated by the atrioventricular septum. It must be somewhat here, atrioventricular septum. So the opening of both the right atrium and left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium and right ventricle is guarded by a valve formed of three muscular flaps, and this muscular flaps, or this is also known as cusps. This cusps are called tricuspid valve. It has three flap, and this one uh, bicuspid valve. This is bicuspid, or this is also known as mitral valve. It guards the opening between left atria and left ventricle. So do you know what is the function of this valve? It prevent the backflow of the blood, and also prevent the mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood to each other. That's why these valves are very much important. So the opening of the right and the left ventricle, right and the left ventricle into the pulmonary artery and aorta. See here, right ventricle, left ventricle, it will open into pulmonary artery, and this left ventricle will open into aorta, and this has been guarded by this structure known as semilunar valve. So you have seen there that tricuspid valve, bicuspid valve and semilunar valve. So valve allows the flow of blood only in a single direction or one direction, and it also uh, or you can say from atria to the ventricle, and it also prevent the backflow of the blood. So you can see here, this is the structure: right atrium, right ventricle, left atria, left ventricle. Here there are pulmonary veins, aorta arises, and this pulmonary arteries, and superior and inferior vena cava, tricuspid valve, the outermost layer, that is pericardium, and uh, there is another structure which is known as assay node and AV node. I think it is not mentioned in your NCRT book, so you will study about these two, assay node and AV node, in class 11th. Uh, Somewhat you can know the function that these produces action potential, and that's why heart pumps due to these action potential, which is created by this assay node and AV node. Assay node is also called as pacemaker, and AV node is also known as pace setter. So there are so many things which you will study in class 11th. So for this, it's enough. See the diagram and practice it, and function we will discuss in next chapter.